All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be doing a gear guide for the new Shield Hero units, and Nexus Grand Cross made this little thing, so I was like, I guess I'll use it for a bit of a visual representation just to make it a bit easier. I don't agree with everything on here, simply because I've tested out the units, and I'm not gonna lie, I think the Naofumi and Raftalia, like the gear, if you can't tell what it is, he's saying that you should go triple defense on all the units. On those two, I 100% agree, because obviously they 100% scale off of defense. He says to give them crit chance rolls, which, yes, it helps. But realistically, Raftalia never crits on her flood card, which is the main DPS. Her severed card is complete shit, in my opinion. Naofumi hardly ever crits. Like, if you face like a 2021 Fest unit, maybe you'll crit, but like 2022, like maybe, I don't even know about Gother. Maybe you might crit Gother. I don't know. He was like 2021, but like Trainer Melee, probably not. Esteros, probably not. Liz, probably not, because she increased her stats by 25%. Diane, I just don't see you critting her. Merlin, I don't know what her resistance is or anything like that, so maybe you can, but you don't need to crit, to be honest. If anything, if you want more CC, because you're maybe like, I have a really stacked team, just run attack rolls. Just run attack rolls. It does nothing for your units, for those two, but it's just a bit more CC to guarantee a few matches that you go first. Like, maybe you'll go first over the Bond team, maybe. You can definitely get a fairly high one, but since they use Arthur, who has terrible CC, and Twigo, you have a bit of a leeway there. Or you could just run Pierce rolls, so that way you do more damage, but it's not relying on you to crit, because these units aren't really critting. They don't have any crit support on their entire team, and that's just how I see it. Now Kizuna, 100%. I think either attack crit or attack defense. You can literally just slap our gear in the middle and test it out and see which one's better. I'm going to be giving her attack crit. Just because she's only used for OG Demon, and she doesn't really get attacked because you can just 3-turn it. So why not make it a little bit easier? Because you land quite a few crits once you get her passive going, or her Holy Relic, one of the two, I can't remember. The thing that gives her 30% attack related stat boost, and she's basically guaranteed to crit. So that's what I would say. Now the most interesting one, Philo. This could be like a 3-minute video. Jeez. You could, if you have an incredibly high CC, you could give her attack crit gear. But the thing I've seen is you end up going second. They end up killing Philo, and then you're stuck with a Merlin and a Keo, or like a Merlin and a Gother, or Merlin and an Echidna, and it just doesn't go well. It doesn't go well. I genuinely think that HP crit is the best way for her. Attack, defense, HP rolls, but HP crit I think is the better rolls for her, because if you go first, then you have higher chance of wiping. I will probably be making her an HP crit set. That's just me though. I don't know. If you want to go attack crit, you definitely can if you have bonkers CC, but do know that if you do go second, she is going to be targeted like no other, because without her on the team, the Merlin does okay damage. The other unit is probably like some sort of support unit. Like, I've seen Demon Hendies, I've seen Keos, he doesn't really do too much, and yeah. Echidna is probably the bigger threat over Merlin, but Merlin's like passive is kind of annoying, so I'd rather take her out. But that is just my take on the gear set wise. Now as for the teams, basically for Naofumi, you could easily just do Naofumi, Raftalia, Marga, or Goddess Liz, and then one of the Guild Funders in back. That is probably one of his better teams. We could definitely be getting bigger support, or maybe a better unit for him. You never know. Maybe they want to, like, snowball into this defense type of archetype, kind of like they did Bond, because they released Arthur, they released Bond, and then they released Terry a few months later. They gave all of them a holy relic, and then they became one of the best teams in the entire game. Could be a thing for the Naofumi team. But Raftalia is a huge bonus for them. Do you need it? No, you don't need Raftalia, but I think she is a fairly good support for the team. I still did fairly well without her. So if you only want to summon for Naofumi, you can still definitely do it. But obviously she is like made for him, you know. And then Raftalia is just going to sit right next to Naofumi. I don't see Raftalia being on a team on her own unless you do like a blue Tarmio sort of nuke team, like blue Tarm, Raftalia, Margaret, or Goddess Liz, and then Gale Thunder in the back. That's the only team I see her working away from Raftalia, which is the same thing, because it does have to be mono blue because of her passive. I'm pretty sure it's her passive. So there's that. And now probably the funnest unit, Philo. Philo is going to be mainly on a unknown debuff team. Does she have to be on an unknown debuff team? No. I don't like her on Kyo as much, or with Kyo, unless you rock like Merlin as well, because obviously you get huge debuffs instantly. But like just Kyo for debuffs is very mediocre in my eyes. Like, I don't really like it. I recommend using the Green Sario link. If you apply Green Sario link, you know, you get that extra debuff, get 5 debuffs on everyone. You increase your attack weight stats by 45%, and you lower all their crit res and crit resistance, or that's the same thing, crit res and crit defense by like 40%, I believe. So it's absolutely bonkers how much damage she can do, and that's why I recommend HP crit, because most of her damage is coming from her holy relic and all the debuffs going on, not her actual attack. And realistically, I use almost all of my units with HP gear, like Esther Rosa. I even use it with Trader Melee, and they still do phenomenal damage. Now obviously they're not as offensively as strong, but they do quite a bit of damage, and it wins matches 9 times out of 10, you know. Doing the unit that I have the biggest problem killing and they live with 1 HP is Red Arthur, because his relic sucks. Okay. But yeah, Philo can work on pretty much any debuff team, but you genuinely do need good CC, or maybe you just run evasion food. You could definitely do that, but that is 100% up to you. Yeah, there's not much to say on it. Kizuna, she's a great OG demon unit. If you don't know, I did a guide on it. We used Kizuna, Red Gother, Trader Melee, Red Elaine, and the other person used Trader Melee, Gother, Freyr, and then I believe they had Elaine back as well. We only used attack food, and we 3-turned it. Like, you just absolutely nuke that thing if you know exactly how to do it. It makes it super easy. If you have Summer Diane, it would make it even easier, because you would get the instant rank up. And yeah, it's just extremely easy with her. I thought she was going to be terrible, but she's actually a very good PvE unit. So that is that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Comment down below if you have any questions. I can try to help. I do have a Discord, link in description. Don't really plug it that often, but I do have one. Join if you have any questions. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Take care. I'm going to be streaming 11 p.m. CST time, whenever it drops. Basically, okay, well, I'm recording this. You're not going to see this in 24 hours, but yeah, I will be streaming 1/6 summons. That is it. I don't care for these units. They look cool, but I have no attachment to them. But yeah, take care and peace out.